Kathy at Captivating Journeys, and this is my friend Benny, and she's a private tour guide in Siena. We have been kind of corresponding for the last couple of months with this whole COVID-19, and I decided maybe we should do an interview. So I'm in Maui, and Benny is in Siena, Italy, and we have about a 12-hour time difference. So we've been practicing. Would you introduce yourself?
Thank you to you, Kathy. It's a pleasure for me. It's the first time, so I will do my best. And it's a very windy day, but we are happy now. We are happy today because, of course, the situation is getting better, and national and international border reopened a couple of days ago. So we are waiting for visitors in the next weeks, and we spent terrible months.
Because you couldn't really leave a certain area of your homes, right?
Yeah, we couldn't leave our houses except for going to the supermarket. Of course, every night we had terrible news from TV, so it was probably the hardest time of my life.
I know. I think for a lot of us, I mean, in Maui, we've been pretty fortunate to, we were on kind of a lockdown, but people were still moving out and about, and we could go to the stores, and we're just kind of opening as well, but we have the 14-day quarantine. So for visitors, and hopefully that will open up soon, because I just like you, tourism hit really hard, and I just read an article that Maui had the highest unemployment in the nation, like 35% or something like that. So, and I give you credit because I could see you were trying to do whatever you could to help your family by producing the videos, and also helping your community by doing donations. So I applaud you for that, you know, because you're hit especially hard because your husband has the store, right? Does that mainly cater to the tourists?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. My family mostly work with tourism because I work as a tour guide, and my husband owns a shop in the main square in Siena, and yes, it is mostly for tourists. He sells wine, olive oil, pasta, so the most important typical products from Tuscany. So we are doing our best to change the things. He's trying to sell new things because, of course, he need to sell to the locals too for the first time, and I am trying to do my best to improve my video making skills, as I made many videos during the lockdown about Siena, its history, its art, and as you know, because I shared my videos with my clients and my travel agencies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you did a really good job. So Benny and I met, I think it was 2017, when I did a visit to the Tuscany area, and she was my private tour guide, and we stayed about 4 days there, and you toured us around, and you just, I thought we had a really good connection, and we really enjoyed having you as our guide. So things are opening up, so that's good for you, just like it is here. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we can go into why you should visit Siena. And when you start that, I will try to put the pictures on. So
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, my name is Benedetta, but you can call me Benny. Benedetta is very hard for you to pronounce. So I'm from Siena. Siena is in Tuscany, not far from Florence, 1 hour driving south of Florence. And I'm from here, born and raised. Very proud of it. I studied history of art at the university in Siena, which is one of the best universities in Italy, one of the oldest universities in Italy. And I've been working as a tour guide in Siena for 6 years. And I really love my job. First of all, because I studied art and history, so it's a perfect job, but it is also a perfect combination with many other things. For example, I can meet people from all over the world. I can share my passion and my knowledge. So I really love my job. And this is why I'm working very hard to improve my job. I'm working very hard to keep in contact with my client.
I got the pictures that you sent me, the video pictures, ready to go. So if you want to
Yes.
tell us about Siena and the history and why somebody should visit.
So yes, I made this little video for the website, and you can see a few pictures from Siena. Siena is a small town, so we are just 50,000 people more or less, and it is frozen in time. If you look at this picture, you can get a better idea. It's frozen in the Middle Ages, Siena's golden age, so most of the buildings go back to the 1300s. It's like a fairy tale. And it's quiet. I mean, tourism is really important in Siena, but it is not as busy as Florence or Rome or Venice. And it's beautiful everywhere. The most important highlights are the cathedral, which is an extraordinary medieval church full of works of art. For example, you can see Michelangelo, Donatello, and many other amazing artists. There's the main square, which is the focal point of the city life, and it's the place where a horse race takes place twice a year. Yes, we have a horse race, very, very important. It is taken very seriously by the citizens, and it's a religious festival. And the competitors in the Palio horse race are the 17 neighborhoods into which is divided Siena. So the old town is divided into neighborhoods, into districts. It's a social structure. So Siena is very unique for this social structure because it's like a confederation of 17 small towns, 17 communities, 17 families. Kathy and I had the chance to see many things, right? The day of our tour, because it was the patron saint feast of one of the 17 neighborhoods. So we saw flags and drums, and everything is taken seriously. So each neighborhood has its own private church. Each neighborhood has its own social club, which is the place where we go to chat with friends, play cards. We organize social activities all year round. We get baptized in the neighborhood as babies. So we never change the neighborhood, even if we move to another neighborhood, even if we marry someone from another neighborhood. We never change it. It's forever. And it's really part of our life. It's really part of our soul. It's part of our history. And the Palio horse race is really, really popular. So of course, during the days of the race, Siena is very busy. There are many visitors, many people from all over the world. Just think that in the main square, there are 50,000 people during the race. And we have 50,000 in Siena. And it lasts a couple of hours because before the race there's a very big pageant with flags and drums, and once inside you are not allowed to get out. So this is why many locals actually don't go to the square, even if it is taken seriously, but they prefer to stay outside very close to the square in order to be there if their neighborhood win, because of course immediately after the race there is a crazy party, a crazy procession, and the members of the winning neighborhood celebrate for months after the race. So
are they going to have it this year? Because that's just next month. No.
The last time we didn't have the race was during the Second World War.
Oh, wow.
So I know it's hard to understand. Probably one of the hardest things to accept is that we are not going to have the palio. Yes, of course I'm very sad about my job, but the palio is something that is part of our soul. So a summer without a palio is not a summer, and I would prefer to skip the summer to be in the middle of the winter.
Wow. So when is the best time to visit Siena?
Well, I would suggest to visit Siena in the early November or April, because it's the low season, so there are not so many people. Especially if you are thinking to go to Florence, Venice, and Rome too, November and April is probably the best time because you can skip the big lines, the crowd. Siena is beautiful even during the high season, especially if you get a local guide. You can skip the line, you can visit museums, you can very easily visit everything. But for the big touristic cities, Florence, Rome, and Venice, the high season can be hard to get around.
Yeah, we went in April I'm not sure why we decided to go there, and it was a really beautiful time. There was hardly any tourists, and we got lucky. We went to Florence first, and then we went to Siena, and we got to see those two celebrations, the neighborhood, and then that other one. And then when we went to Umbria, in Assisi, we got to see another one. So which I didn't even expect to see something like that. So I recommend April to go. I thought it was a nice time.
Yeah, in Siena we have something almost every Sunday because each neighborhood has its own patron saint feast, and the big celebration is on Sunday. So we have 17 neighborhoods. So yes, more or less we have something every weekend. But yes, of course, spring and autumn are beautiful even in terms of weather. Mm-hmm. Because it's not too hot, it's not cold, so it's perfect.
So for somebody who's going to visit Siena for the first time, I know there's a lot of day trips from Florence, but I don't think that's really enough time to see it. So when I went, I wanted to, that trip that I did to Italy, I didn't want to run through the whole area. So we spent, I think, 4 days in Florence, or 3 days, and then I spent 4 days in Siena, and we just kind of immersed ourselves, after your tour. Then you gave us tips for the next day to see different areas. I think we even ran into you the next day giving another a tour to some other tourists. But it was just nice to try to just soak it all in. But I know that's not everybody can do it because you're on a limited time when you have a vacation. So what do you suggest, how many days do you think is perfect for Siena, and what would the main sites be?
Well, as you said, most of the people and most of my clients actually visit Siena just for a couple of hours, joining one of the many daily tours from Florence. Because the time is not long, because there are so many things to see in Italy, in Tuscany, and I know I'm from here and I see something different every day in my province, so it's very rich. But Siena is beautiful. So once people arrived in Siena, they realized that a couple of hours is not enough. And I think a couple of days is a good time to spend in Siena, because there are many museums, but even if you don't like museums, you can just walk around and find hidden corners. You can walk and discover side streets, very beautiful viewpoints, panoramic viewpoints. Siena is a hilly town, so it's very easy to take beautiful pictures, like the one I see on your Facebook page. And a couple of days is enough. It's beautiful to enjoy Siena late in the evening when most of the tourists go back to Florence. It's beautiful to sit on a table in the main square, enjoying a glass of wine with locals. The atmosphere is very enjoyable, is very relaxing, and very different from the other beautiful cities, but very busy ones, such as Florence and Venice and Rome.
Yeah.
Probably the best way to visit Italy is to make a choice and choose something like Tuscany, and you see 3 or 4 places. You stay a couple of days in every place, and you can really understand something.
That's what I try to do. I wanted to spend time, because it was, I had been to Italy a couple times before, but I hadn't really explored Tuscany. So I wanted to kind of immerse myself a little. There are some of the pictures from the tour that Benny had given us. And oh, there we are. So this is, Benny, why don't you tell us about this spot?
Yeah, this is one of the many panoramic viewpoints I was telling before. This is my favorite one and probably the best one. It's from the Church of St. Dominic, which is very important. And the church you see behind us is the cathedral. It's the cathedral built at top of the hill. You see that most of the town is made of brick, so it's brown, just like the color Siena. But the cathedral is white because it is covered in marble, so you can see the cathedral from a very long distance.
All right, let's see. Let's go then. And this is the
front of the cathedral. This is the facade. Very ornate. This church was built between the 11 and the 1300s.
And we went in, I think the next day we went inside, and you can go up on the top. And then this was the unfinished cathedral.
Yes, you can visit the interior of the church. You can go up to the roof of the church. You can visit the museum of the church and reach the wall we are looking at now, the unfinished cathedral. And the view is amazing, of course. This is why I was telling, and you were telling, that you need a couple of days at least in Siena, because in a couple of hours you only have time to walk around, see the main square, the cathedral from outside, and that's it.
And the interesting thing about this unfinished cathedral, they were building it because there was so many people, right? And then it was stopped because of the Black Plague, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, and
Yeah,
then for family.
Siena today is a small town, but it used to be one of the largest and most powerful cities in Europe in the Middle Ages. Today we have 50,000 people. There were 50,000 back in the Middle Ages. So it was bigger than Paris at the time. So they decided to build a much bigger cathedral in order to house the increasing number of people, but they couldn't finish because of the bubonic plague. Yeah. And this is the main square.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to go. I hit the button.
Sorry.
So it's Piazza del Campo, right?
Yeah, Piazza del Campo, the main square.
Okay.
It's quite a dream to see the square with so many people right now, because of course now it's almost empty, but we are confident. We hope to see the square back in its best shape very soon.
I think you will, because I know I have a lot of clients that are wanting to travel. They want to go to Italy, so it might take some time, but it'll come back. And then, whoops. So this is the view. That's the town hall, I think, right?
The town hall and the main square, yes.
Yeah, which was at night. There was nobody there, and we even kind of wandered around. I think there's some kind of exhibition in there, and
There's a museum, yeah.
Yeah. And
This.
then, whoops, hold on.
Yeah, the city hall is open to visitors. So the first floor of the city hall is open to visitors. There are frescoes everywhere, frescoes that are considered to be milestones of the medieval art. I mean, if you open every book of medieval art, you're gonna find these frescoes because they are very, very important.
Yeah. And this view is of the Tuscan countryside, and this is, I think we took it from the balcony of our hotel. So it was really beautiful. Yeah. And dinner, I think I had carbonara almost every single night. Yeah. Yeah. And that's your husband's shop. I don't think they got a very good picture, but so that was outside, and this is one of the specialties.
One of the specialties, yes. Siena is very famous for wine, mostly. We make 3 of the best red wines in Italy. And so if you visit Siena, you should try our wines, first of all, and sweets. Siena is very well known for sweets. Soft cookies made with almond paste, a fruit cake called panforte, and these are the cantucci biscuits, very dry biscuits. We usually dip these biscuits on sweet wine, the local sweet wine, and it's a dessert.
Right. And this picture I put in here because this is the reason why you should have a private guide. So here's Benny and I on our private tour, and in back of us is a big tour, and you know, there's the guide. You can probably see him in the back, but with this herd of people, and it's not as fun. So I highly recommend to hire a private guide, and Benny, especially if you're in Siena, and she'll take good care of you. And I know I'll put in the comments of this live your website, or you can contact me. And I know I have a lot of travel agent friends who might be interested in finding a guide that they can trust. So I'll put that in there. And it was nice chatting with you. I saw your little baby boy Bernardo last night, right, when we were testing this. And and we'll keep in touch.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you very
And-
much for sharing this interview.
I think it got messed up a little bit, but I'm gonna try. This last section did good, so I'm gonna try to learn some video editing skills, because I did record it, and try to make it a little bit easier. But so thank you for being my test, and I think yeah, and as I mentioned, I do hope to come back in the fall of 2021, and I will definitely be in touch so that we can visit. So,
Absolutely.
okay, thank you. Ciao.
Ciao. Have a good day.
You too. Or good night.
Yes.
All right. See if I do this right. So stop. All right. Okay. Thanks again.